All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Wait, I'm getting my.
Hello there, Miss Shirley.
Hi, Miss Shirley. How you doing? How's everybody doing this evening? Ooh, it's a Tuesday, guys. It's a Tuesday.
All right. So what's the temperature like wherever you are?
Cause it's cold.
What is the temperature like? I mean, it's cold, but it's good. It's good. It's not windy though.
Oh, look at it. I was telling you to look at, check it.
For the temperature?
And the look. Hey, chest is right here. Hey, Miss Rosemary.
Aunt Rosemary.
Hey, Joseph.
What up, Joe?
What's going on?
Yeah. So what's the temperature like where you guys are?
I hope everybody had a good weekend and a good Monday, good Tuesday.
So it's 49 degrees here, right?
Yes, and rainy.
Miss Arlene, what's going
Hi,
on?
Miss Arlene.
Hey, Joe. So, are you big on Valentine's Day?
Kids ask, what are we doing for Valentine's Day?
What kids?
Ours.
They ask what?
What are we going to do for Valentine's Day? Are we doing something again?
For one another? Or for them?
For one another. And are we going to do something again I guess like we did last year as a
I'm
family?
good. How are you guys? Weather here in Oklahoma is 66. That's
That's
not
not
too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, no.
Let it go.
Just one.
So, what'd you tell them?
I was getting out the car. I told her I don't know yet. See. This last year, Jared and I, we got a nice.
Watch out, Chess.
Oh, we got a nice a nice.
Every day is
charcuterie
Valentine's
board.
Day, brother.
I know that's right. He's a
Joe
lover.
said I'm a lover, not a fighter. I know that's right. Every day is Valentine's Day. That's said, as well said from a real pimp.
Oh, please.
I know that's right. What's
Hey,
up, Terry?
But anyway, Jared and I last year we got a nice charcuterie board. We had it ordered.
Girl, you are so proud of that charcuterie.
I am, because that joint was
about 9
so
times.
good. I want another one. I need to put an order in because that was so good. I got sneezed.
He said, we love hard every day in my house. Exactly.
Yes, and then what do we do? We played a blockbuster video game. Kids, they didn't really get it. They didn't really get it. Oh, everything running together.
Yeah.
We was on last night?
We were on last week. You told me that same story.
Well, y'all hearing it again.
All right, what are we talking about today?
I don't know.
Let's get to it.
I'm still stuck
Get them
on
3
last
topics.
I'm stuck on last week.
You being funny. Come on. Get them 3 topics
Oh, where's your phone?
to choose from. Are y'all gonna
All right.
choose? Y'all choose real quick. We ready to fly off the handle with it. Whichever topic y'all choose.
Shoot that ball through that. Shoot that.
Yeah, we ready to get it.
All right, so this is topic 1.
What's up, Rakia?
Hey, Rakia. Topic 1, navigating a relationship or marriage where kids are already present. So someone bringing children into
So a blended family.
the relationship. Correct.
All right.
Number 2, being ghosted.
Okay.
And number 3, you did that? Baby mama, baby daddy drama.
It's almost like
How to form ranks within your household. It was pretty much split out like that. This was sent in by
so these
a loyal
questions, all of
listener.
these questions are questions that have been sent in to us from
Our lawyer viewers.
you guys. So I need y'all to either say 1, 2, or 3, and we're gonna talk about whichever one has the majority. Can you give me to us
Yeah.
again? One is
Navigating a relationship or marriage where children are already present, so a blended family.
all right.
Number 2, being ghosted.
Okay.
And 3, baby mama, baby daddy drama. Pretty much forming ranks in the household, keeping a united front when there's always baby mama, baby daddy drama. Hey, Danny B, what's going on?
All right, so what y'all say?
1, 2, or 3.
All right, we got 1 for 1, 1 for 2. What's up, Erica? We got 1 for 3. 1 and 3 kind of the same, but I picked 1.
No.
Right. 1 and 3 can kind of. I was thinking the
of
same
children?
thing. What's up, Chantel? So we got 1, 1, 1. Got another 1.
I mean.
It's okay.
Okay.
Miss Shirley says 1.
1.
All right.
Okay, blended family.
Rakia said, "Oh, hey, the gang is all here. Rakia,
Okay,
Terry,
right?
Marquita, me. The gang is all here."
Okay, so we have more for 1.
Arlene says 1. All right. Okay.
Navigating a relationship or marriage where children are already present. Do's and don'ts. I'm not gonna say that because that's gonna be obvious.
Oh, go ahead.
Suggestion.
What
do you do when?
What to do?
What to do when family and friends don't recognize all of the children as your children collectively? That's tough.
Okay. All right. So we're basically talking about blended families. All right. So first off, let me see your hand if you have a blended family. All right. Let me see your hand if you have a blended family.
On some hearts. Put up some hearts. That'll be easy.
Blended family. All right. So we too have a blended family. When Marquita and I
one person
started dating.
Oh, there we go.
When Marquita and I started dating, I had a child from a previous relationship. Okay. So I guess we gotta do story time, right? But wait a minute.
Boy.
So let me just make sure we talk about the right things. We're talking about blended families, right? Okay. How to do what now?
How to navigate.
Because I want to make sure we're answering the question. How to navigate a relationship, marriage where kids are already present. All right. Had a blended family. Okay. So before we get to that, y'all help me out. Y'all got to type. What are some of the obstacles that you're going to have to face when navigating a blended family? What are some of what you think are some of the top obstacles that you have to face when navigating a blended family? I will say this as you guys are typing. Navigating a blended family is not easy.
No.
It's not easy because there are territories that come into play, jealousies that come into play, favoritism can come into play. So it's a lot that can come into play. What's up, Shamika?
Hey, my BM.
So if you're just joining us, we're talking about
navigating blended families.
Navigating blended families. So Terry says when the children are adults.
That's a whole
So
different aspect. I was thinking like the age groups can be difficult.
So when you say adults, are we talking like teenagers or are we talking like
adults?
20, 30 years old?
Yeah, adults. That can be different because
Okay.
all those things still can come into play, but it's just a different dynamic. For it's still issues, and it could be in the same categories. It's just the dynamics are different at different age groups, at different age levels.
I think it might even be stronger if they are grown. All right, so let me see what people are saying.
Let me see it. All right, it says, let's see who's this, Rakia. It really depends on the ages of the children and the role that led the parents, that lead to the parents' demise. What has been shared with the children / this is just the beginning.
And to be quite honest, I agree. Children are adults over 25 years old. Yeah, discipline. All right, so that was been an obstacle for Chantel's discipline, because there may already be a culture set. Right. Wait a minute.
Hey, Joshua.
I saw something here. It says what has been shared. Yeah, what has been shared with the children. Now that's so you got a lot of stuff that you have to contend with.
Yes.
Because often people get into a relationship. and they already have children before the relationship. And one of the worst things to do is be so selfish that you look over the children. Mm-hmm. And
because you're used to operating that it's just me and mine.
Right, and not just that, but you just so excited about having a companion, a relationship. Okay. So it's like, oh, they'll get along. Oh, I know they like kids or whatever the case may be. Or they'll get along. They're really nice, and you're pretty much just glossing over it. And it's like, hey, this is Mr. John, and hey, this is Lisa, mm-hmm. and whatever, and then that'd be it. And there's no actual conversation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because you're so honestly, you're so selfish and you're so excited about being in a relationship, and probably you should be. It's not wrong with being excited to be in a relationship, but you're so excited about being in a relationship that you don't really focus on the children. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So how should that conversation go? So now, one thing I've noticed that when we're reading these, we got to read them we read them
to ourselves.
Yeah, mm-hmm. and because we see that they see it, but when we're on YouTube, people, they don't see it, so we actually got to read it so they know what we're saying.
Keep cutting yourself out.
I'm not cut off. I'm good.
Okay.
So how should that conversation go? You got kids. Okay. Now, my child was 2.
Mm-hmm. When we met, yep. Mm-hmm.
So there really wasn't a whole lot of conversation, to be quite honest. I'm not, and I may have done that wrong, but it was more. It was. This is Marquita. That was it. I mean, how much more conversation?
I mean, yeah, she was 2.
Yeah, she was 2.
Going on 3. Yeah. Yeah. The topic is for Jocelyn that's asking, what's the topic? It is navigating a relationship when children are present. Pretty much a blended family situation. Yeah. So let's talk. How should that conversation go? You got kids, right? Mm-hmm. Now you want to get with me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think
what do you say to your
kids? To the children. I mean, there's so much into that. It's timing. I can't just be bringing my children to meet you on the first date. I just think that's just not wise because you're still getting to know that person. But anyhow, I would talk, assuming we've been dating for a while, I would sit and talk with my children and let them know I have a friend that I've been dating or going out, depending on their age group, level of understanding, and just let them know that I want you to be a part of our lives. So I want them to meet you and to just, see how they think you are. Get a feel for you.
What? No, you talking to me? You talking to the kids?
I'm talking to my children. You said, what would I say to my children? I would want them to meet you and get a. But
listen to what you just said. You just said to your children that I want you children to be a part of our lives, me and the guy.
Okay, no, I would want. Well, then that's not what I meant. I would tell them I want you to meet this person, and I want that person to be a part of our lives. So I want you to meet him and tell me what you think about him.
So herein is where the conflict can come in at. Because as you just said, you and your children already have a life.
Right.
And a culture.
Right.
Right? And let's say I was a guy. Me, and maybe I got a child too. We've already got a culture.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Wait. So now we got to determine whose culture are we going to adapt to. Because you just said you want me and my kids to be a part of you guys' culture in that sense. And I'm thinking the same thing on my end. Mm-hmm. So we got to figure out, because and we may have 2 totally different cultures and how we raise children and what we allow the children to do, mm-hmm. and all that type of stuff.
I mean, I guess I didn't think about my statement being that as if I'm trying to be demanding or make you be a part of my life.
But I'm saying
that's how it's coming off. As I'm trying to make you be a part of y'all join my life. It's not
the point.
That.
The point is that
it can't get to that.
When 2 people come together, there are 2 different cultures.
Yeah, that is true.
So I'm trying to address that. Mm-hmm. How do you navigate that?
How do you blend it? That takes time. It takes intentional effort. It takes dating. It takes outings, and cultivating actual family time. A lot of conversation between the adults and with all the children present. You have to, whatever you guys have to.
Oh, so you would start blending them. I mean, just colliding them together.
Yes, like going out. Let's go to the park. Let's doing intentional things to see how everyone interacts with one another, get along. We would sit, we would talk. I mean, people don't really do that type of stuff anymore, I think. But I mean,
like sit and talk at a table and eat.
Right, like we do. I would sit down. We have to sit and talk. Because how else we gonna know what's on their mind, how they're feeling? We have to sit and talk. We would have to sit and talk, because if we're trying to be together, we need to have a united front and talk with the children.
Yeah.
This is how we make it work. This is what we do. We have a difference of opinion or disagreements, and we have to pour that into the children.
Yeah, I mean, and what makes that sticky is that often in the dating period, you're lying.
That's true too.
And you're just getting along to get along. And
I won't say you lying.
You're lying.
Totally now.
Yeah, you're lying.
Read these comments, child.
You're lying because you haven't really, you're not gonna show all the bad. You know what I mean? You're not gonna say, "Oh, my child is mean when they don't have their way," or whatever the case may be. Hey, look, man, we're going over Miss Lisa's house. Hey, so you need to act right, and they don't do this. So now they're gonna put on until something happened in the back when they're in the back room. And
children gonna be children.
Right.
The issue is gonna come in with the adults, because children are gonna be children. If they sneaky, they're gonna be sneaky, whether you give them to talk to or not. Mm-hmm. If they liars, they're gonna be liars. That's why I said we're gonna have to continue to talk and have a cultivation. We're gonna have to talk and figure out a plan. This is what we're gonna do. This is how we need to execute discipline. What's your form of discipline? What's my form? Meet in the middle. I mean, it ain't gonna be that easy, but we're gonna have to talk it. We're gonna have to talk it out and figure out, okay, because it can come to a point where we're not seeing eye to eye on discipline. Okay, how about this? You don't hit mine, and I ain't gonna hit yours. But I'm gonna tell you, if something's happening, listen. Your child did such and so, handle that. You may get offended by that.
All right.
So, I may get pissed off or offended because you ain't handled it the way I wanted you to handle it. But, I mean, that's why it's going to take a lot of prayer, a lot of wine, a lot of talking.
Wine?
Heck yeah. You need something to simmer and mellow out. That's hard.
I'm going to let you keep talking.
Some people may smoke weed. Whatever you need to do to survive, do you.
All right, so Joseph says, it depends on the age of the child. Like Jared, my son was 2 when I got married to my wonderful wife, which has been a great stepmom. But I believe with my son being so young that all he knew was dad and dad's wife. So let me ask you this. Is she still just dad's wife? Not just, let me erase the word just. Is she still dad's wife? Or is she, how does he see her?
I mean, you didn't have to erase that, because that's how it can be perceived. That's just that wife. That's just your stepmama.
Which means
that's a whole issue there.
Right, because when it's perceived like that, that person's not connected to me.
Right, it's like there's no connection at all.
Right.
And that's a whole issue.
Right. Okay, Rakia says, we had a very tumultuous beginning as it relates to blending our families.
Oh no, I just saw that picture of us two at the movies with
picture of who?
Us, Rakia, when we went. Well, I don't know what movie we saw in Atlanta.
Dreamgirls.
Oh, we saw Dreamgirls. It was Christmas or Thanksgiving, something, and all of us went.
Me, you, Rakia, Isaac.
And Isaac's son, yeah. Go ahead.
We had a very tumultuous beginning as it relates to blending our families. My husband and his children's mother didn't have a great relationship once he informed them of our marriage plans. This caused a great deal of trauma for us, and it took years for us to break what was initially planted in my bonus children as it relates to me and my relationship with their father. Ooh.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Now you gotta hear what she said. You gotta hear what she said, because which we've been there, done that, like you said. Wherein there was some foul stuff planted in their mind regarding this new woman in their father's life.
Oh, the father's life. Mm-hmm.
Right? And children, for the most part, are protective over who they know,
right? Mm-hmm.
And who they love. And then you got to also understand, especially if it's from a previous relationship, especially if it's from a previous marriage, the children are going through the trauma of their family no longer being together and connected.
And sometimes that's not an easy bounce back. Children are resilient, but sometimes that's not an easy bounce back. That's a whole process.
So, all right. So here's story time, which has nothing to do with us, but this is story time. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been at a college here in Jacksonville, and I've been talking to college students there, and I've been doing what is called story work. Does anybody know what story work is? Let me know if you know what story work is. Anyway, and story work causes I dig into their traumas. And if there were 8 of them that were doing this with me, at least 5 of them, of the 8, all, and they're all 19, 21, 22, all are crying real tears about their mother and father being divorced, or how their family broke up when they were 6 or 7 years old, and they're 19, 20, 21 years old, and have had stepfathers and stepmothers or whatever the case may be. And so that's a real trauma for children. And it's a real trauma for children on top of adolescence, on top of the rebellious teenage years, on top of puberty and all this other stuff. So it's on top of all of that. So you got, these little demon Chuckies everywhere, or these very, very quiet persons, you know what I mean? So children are not just furniture.
Right. They have feelings, and their feelings are valid.
Yeah.
Must be addressed.
All right. You about to say something? Okay, let me just read a few things. So Joseph says, you on point, Jared. 2 different cultures can be very challenging. Yes. Yep. Okay. I think she is more than dad's wife. She is stepmom. I do feel like they could be closer, but it's no way bad at all or even close. Good. All right. Rakia says, children, their feelings are valid and must be addressed. Jocelyn says it was definitely a process for us. And I would venture to say to you, Jocelyn, that it's still a process. It's your process has not been completed, because you guys are still new. But they a year now.
Has it been a year, Joshua?
I think it's been a year. I think it's been a year. But yeah, so blended families. So before you even talk about your family outside of the house, like your mom and them, your auntie and them, and all that, how they treat these children that are in the house, or your blended family. Because maybe your mama is just used to her grand, and now your companion brings in other children, and how she treats them or how your dad treats them, that's another story. All right, so before we get to that's the outside. Before we get there, we gotta stay on this. What you about to say?
I would also, this is a suggestion maybe. I would venture to say to Joe and Chantel, would you consider using the word bonus mom instead of saying stepmom? Because some society really can put a negative spin on that term stepmom. And it disconnects. Bonus, it feels inclusive. Like, I got a bonus. It's something good. It's something positive. So that's just my little suggestion.
Yeah. Sharnique, how are you?
Hey, Sharnique.
Cedric says, let me read it.
Yes.
Not sure what we are talking about, but I'm catching on. All I heard was the word stepmother. I wanted to burn mine alive.
Well. Same here, Chantel. Yeah.
All right. So Cedric, we're talking about how to navigate blended families. So let's talk about our story. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine.
Story time. So again, when I met Marquita, my daughter was 2. We got married. She was 4.
She was about to be 4, a month away from being 4.
Okay, so just about 4. It really, it became my daughter. My daughter after a while. The issue became Marquita, me, and my daughter after a while. But the issue at first was my daughter's mother. Because, like a lot of relationships, she was just not happy about me being happy. And it was a struggle of control. And then, of course, unfortunately, it was, using the child as a pawn. And then I was actually very intentional. Now, this was what I did because I knew my daughter's mother. I was intentional not to allow my daughter's mother to see me with any other woman because I didn't need any distraction with me being able to be with my daughter. And I was not a statistical father wherein I just get on weekends. Like I took care of my child till she was about 5 years old. And her mother, that's another story. But anyway, so I was not a statistical dad. So there's two stories I'm going to tell you. So one, because I wasn't with her mother, it was a fight even then because I was going to be in my daughter's life, right? But I'm totally in.
I can't see your hand. Go ahead.
My hands? You don't need to see my hands.
Man, do a full
All
shot.
right. It is a full shot.
Not you like me.
So I was totally into my raising my child, and her mother was already making it difficult. And
Though
so
she had moved on, it just didn't matter.
Yeah, though she had moved on, because you can move on and still not moved on.
Right.
And so I was intentional about not letting her in on any woman I was dealing with at the time. So it wasn't until after Marquita and I were actually married. She had met Marquita once, but I didn't tell anything about it. She just saw a girl in my car.
And flipped the hell out.
You're right. When she saw her in my car, she flipped out. You want to talk about that?
No.
No. All right. She flipped out just seeing a girl in my car. But she didn't see or know anything about me having another woman in my life until after we were married. And everything heightened. And so now she was using my daughter as a pawn. And so on, like Rakia, I think, like Rakia was saying, it was a lot of infiltrating my daughter's mind about me and about my wife. And so anytime my daughter was coming over to us, hindsight, she had to fight through a whole lot of stuff in her mind.
Yeah, because it was like from her mouth, our child's mouth, she let us know that she felt like she couldn't have fun, she couldn't be obedient, because if she goes back home and says, "Oh, we did this, we did that, I had this," then she would be scolded and and disregarded, and so that made her feel even more horrible. So it's almost like, let me do what my mama want me to do so that I can make sure I'm good when I go back over there.
And then what was also a contradiction was that my daughter was not new to Marquita, because Marquita had been in my daughter's life since she was 2. Now she's 4 and we're actually married.
I met her when she was 1, about to be
Right.
2. Yeah.
And then not only just in her life, but Marquita took care of her. Even when I was in Atlanta, before my daughter moved up to Atlanta with me for a little while, she was with Marquita. And so, and then all of a sudden her mother was saying all these types of things there to her. So it just kind of confused her. So now my daughter is in the middle of all this confusion. And even though she knew Marquita and she was used to Marquita and she loved Marquita and all of that, she still had this thing in her mind. She wanted her mother and her father together.
And that lasted for years.
Yeah. And so, which, I guess you can understand that. She sees other people have mom and daddy together and whatever the case may be. And then eventually she saw her brother and sister, which is our children together, have their mother and father. Right. So she always longed and yearned to have her daddy and her mother as a couple.
Even to the point of, everybody, all of us living together. Let me just have all of us living together.
Like a whole Will Smith and Jada.
Right, situation.
And what the girl name?
Cherie and, Cherie.
Yeah, Cherie. And that wasn't going to happen.
No. And
but
then so...
that came out in rebellion and being difficult when she would come over and just doing silly stuff. You know, they act out. And so, yeah, it became a whole thing. So that's one side of it. I said I'll tell you two stories. Here's the other side of it. I told Marquita when we were getting together and you know, we were really getting serious, that I told her that I had a child. She already knew I had a child from the very first meeting me. She knew I had a child. But I told her that I was not a statistical dad. I told her that on the onset, but I guess you have to say what that
meant.
What did that mean to you when I told
That
you?
meant to me, I guess from what I've seen, okay, he takes care of his child. That means he's in the child's life. That means he gets the child on a regular. But the child lives with her mother.
And that's not what it was. And so I told Marquita I'm not a statistical dad. So I think, you know, it was also from Marquita, you can tell if I'm wrong or not, that it was a little disappointment because it wasn't just her and I. It wasn't just me and my husband. I don't have any children. No, Marquita, I don't have any children. It's just me and my husband. And in my mind, I told you this up front. What's up? What's up, Raquel? I told you this up front that I had a child and I'm not a statistical dad. And so I think it was a disappointment there because Nava, with my child's name, my oldest daughter's name is Nava. She was with me in our life and intertwined in almost everything we did. What's up, Candace?
Hey, Candace.
Intertwined in everything we did. And I think it was a struggle.
Yeah, we would have to sit Nava down on the bed often.
I think it was a struggle for you.
It was, it was definitely a struggle for me. Because I had to contend with me trying to be a new mommy and a new wife. Don't know how to be neither one of those. And then fighting through the disobedience and the mindset that was being put into the child. Fighting also against what I think are my parenting skills with his parenting skills. And it was a whole bunch of other dynamics that came into play. And I just felt out of place. And it was just...
And I think what happened was that our actual reality shattered her dreams.
My unrealistic expectation.
Yeah. When we got married and reality was reality, that my child was in my life, I got baby mama drama. The girl is crazy. And then I get crazy when I interact with her as well, so I can just put it on her. So she's getting married, she got no children, she got a husband, man that she loved, and then that shattered the dreamy expectations of what marriage life was gonna be. And I remember, if you remember this, we were in Atlanta, and I think it had something to do with Nava. We were disagreeing about something when it came to her. And Marquita called me, and because we were best friends, she said to me, I need to talk to my best friend about my husband. Now, she was talking to me, saying to me, I need to talk to my best friend about my husband, because I was her best friend. And so we talked about everything. And I had to know how to switch hats, because she was going to tell me about me, but she didn't want to talk to her husband. She wanted to talk to her best friend about her husband. Dude, in essence,
must have been the Lord, because that's work now.
No, because in essence, to really kind of tell me about, the disappointment. Like, hey man, I didn't sign up for this. And let me tell y'all, all y'all, everybody that has to deal with blended families, you did sign up for it. You signed up for all of it. You don't get to choose what the difficulties will be.
Right. What you're dished, what you serve.
Yeah, you don't get to choose what the issues are going to be, because you don't know them until you actually are in the relationship. Because for my daughter's mother, she was kind of subdued and a little at bay, because she was, coming at me about stuff, but she was kind of subdued. But then when she realized that I was actually married, which didn't happen before we got married, when I was actually married, boom, it heightened. So I couldn't say to Marquita, okay, this is what it's going to be, because it wasn't like that. So Marquita didn't get to choose what the issue was going to be, how much drama she would have to contend with in dealing with a guy that had a child. And then
my issue was like, don't let her get you this upset, which was selfish of me, because I'm like, ain't no other people ever have that type of control over my husband. Don't let her get you this upset. Let her talk. Let her do what she want to do. But you know what decision you're gonna make. You know what move you need to make. Just chill out, because when he got there, it's like everybody get out of his way, because he going to war by his child, and including if he got to go toe to toe with me. So.
And I would.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not
I would
gonna
go
keep happening.
toe to toe with Marquita about my child. I would go toe to toe with her mother about my daughter's mother about my child, because, and that's what happens. That's what happens.
Yeah.
When whether it's the mother or the father, if you have a child,
Hey, Crystal,
before you are get in a relationship, you will inevitably overprotect your child.
and you will inevitably go to war for them to the point where
To
it's
sometimes
like
a
y'all
detriment.
against the world.
Exactly.
Right. It's like I got them because they can't protect themselves, so I'm covering them.
And then it's like I've had to
Right.
go through too much for me and mine.
Right. And I'm not
Right.
feeling nothing to no one. Correct. Mm-hmm.
So-
Kids say, we got a situation.
Yeah.
It's a situation.
I'm with you, brother. My child comes first always. All right? Now, okay, good. I'm glad you said that.
Hold
Oh!
Hold up.
So I'm glad you said that.
Oh, Lord.
I'm glad you said that. So now, that's how I was. That's not how I am now. That's how I was. I mean, because it was. I'm her daddy. She
Right,
ain't
I'm
got
like, that's
nobody
your
else.
baby.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm her daddy, and I'm gonna be there, and ain't nobody gonna make me and gonna allow me not to be there.
Right.
And what I expected, I was disappointed too. I expected Marquita to get all the way in with
trenches
me
with
there.
him.
You know what I mean? And now watch this. Here's what I have grown to learn, and this is true. That
And some people have a
Wait,
lot of
let-
opposition with this.
what you don't know what I'm about to say.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so here's what I've grown to learn, that what I have for my child, Marquita does not. What she has for her children, for our children together, we got that together. But that extra that I have for my child, she don't have it, because that's not her child,
Biologically.
right? And she a girl, right? Ready for war about them girls, absolutely. You know what I mean?
You see what
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Chantel said. I thought the wife comes first.
Right, I'm getting there, Chantel.
What's
Hold
up,
your
Ashley?
horses. Hold your horses. What up,
Ashley?
Ashley? So that's how I was, and I would literally go toe to toe, because I felt like ain't nobody gonna keep me from my child. You know what I mean? And so it didn't matter who you were, and if you were not helping me, then you were hurting me, and I was coming at you. And so I was very disappointed that Marquita wasn't in the trenches with me, and some of it was because it was taken away from what the world she wanted to create. It's like, hey man, I
want this drama.
yeah, keep that over there, and that type of stuff like that. And then
Don't bring it here.
she didn't have the grace that I had for my child. She didn't have the mercy that I had for my child, because that wasn't her child. And then this particular child was the catalyst of drama. You know what I mean? She didn't necessarily bring drama, and she did sometimes, but she was a catalyst for drama. It was like, and so it wasn't just baby, because some of that baby was causing drama for your life that was supposed to go a certain way. And so it didn't just, the love didn't just fall all the way in, or the love did, the toleration.
I would say it was more of a tolerance.
Yeah, it didn't just fall all the way there. Now, and I was mad about that, because it's like, you are married to me,
Right.
and you knew I had a child before we got married, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And so I was disappointed. So here in, what's up, Kevin?
Hey, Kevin.
So here in, y'all talking,
taking me
you're taking me back.
Yeah. Okay. Lift them hands.
And so here's the reality. Marquita was disappointed because of her unrealistic expectations. I was disappointed because of my unrealistic expectations.
And the child was disappointed.
And the child was disappointed. So we all disappointed, and we all fighting one another, and nobody is really understanding each other. We're all stuck on what it is we want.
Because there were times where we would have to sit our baby down and talk with her and let her know, listen, here it's gonna be me, you, and then he would say me, you, and Miss Marquita. We're all together. We all a family. I'm married to her. She's your stepmom, and this is before we started doing bonus moms. Because she did not want me to be with her dad, even at a young age. She was like, this is my daddy. She was used to sleeping in a bed with him. Now she has her own bed because I'm sleeping in the bed with him. So it's like I'm coming in between them.
Right.
So, I mean, it used to
it
used to be a battle. Even he sleep, and this is going on.
Yeah, but and listen, I don't care what she said. I still don't believe my child was fighting her.
This girl was pulling my hair,
at night.
kicking me in the side.
She wasn't doing none of that.
I'm like, Jared, get your baby.
So in that, because I mean, she's a daddy's girl, and it was, it's me and her. But then, this is my baby too, and so now they are battling against one another for a position,
a place, correct?
A position. All right, wait a minute. What am I missing, Marquita?
Joe and Chantel, we got to get on this topic.
Wait, what happened?
There you go. She said, he's talking about y'all both first.
Y'all do, baby. Y'all both first.
Let me see what Cedric said. Something. Jocelyn.
All right, I'm with you. Jocelyn says, I'm with you, Pastor Jar. This was me. Ain't no one gonna keep me from my child.
Right.
Jesus, it was a long journey.
But God. Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen.
That thing will kill you if you let it. Yep.
Girl.
So often children become an issue in the marriage because of two selfish, immature adults. When two selfish, immature adults have not matured and grown up to become examples and to become compromising adults without unrealistic expectations, then the children become an issue, right? And so you have to get to a point to where you all talk on a regular basis about how we gonna deal with this.
Right.
And you got to keep your emotions. Just because I deal with the children different than you deal with the children don't mean ain't nobody gonna do this to my child. That's not what it is.
You keep, like you said, the conversation is going. Even if one of us disagrees with how we reprimanded or disciplined or allowed and permitted, whatever that is, we keep that conversation between us, not in front of the children, because children will pick up on that. They do pick up on that and learn how to play the parents against each other. We can't have that.
Yes, absolutely. So ain't no battle. Let's go to that point. What point? Hey, Nakiria.
The battle of the place.
Oh yeah. So
hey,
all right. So and that's why, again, that's the immaturity there. Where my thing was, my child is my responsibility, right? You as my companion is just that. You know what I mean? You're just, my pleasure.
Help me.
Yeah. You're my pleasure and my confidant and but that's my responsibility, right? And it's backwards because when you make the child, you make the child first and then the companion second, then you're off balance.
You're off balance, and the child will pick up on that.
Yeah, you're off balance.
And again, because the child's mind is not at a mature level as adult's mind, the child will play on that.
Yeah. All right, so Joe says, yes, Jar, you're on point. Husband and wife are one team. Together, we make sure the child is loved properly. Correct. And the only way that can happen is if you're loving one another properly first.
Yes, make that difference. Correct.
You have to love one another properly first. And you gotta be able to be vulnerable. See, that's the maturity. Yep. You gotta be able to say, hey, I don't like feeling like she's coming in between us. Or your children are ahead of me. And listen. You really got to get to a point to where you have patience. Because if the children were there before you, it's not going to be automatic that they put you first. Would you agree with that?
No, it's not going to be automatic. No matter the age, it's not going to be automatic, which is why You have to show them how to. That's why I said make difference. You have to show them.
Now, I ain't talking about the children. I'm talking about it's not gonna be automatic that the parent puts the companion first.
Oh yeah.
Although that is what you're supposed to do, that's
Right.
gonna take some time.
That is gonna take time.
To let go that strong grip
And learn that
of
balance.
your children. I gotta protect my children. I gotta make sure my children. Da 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 da.
Right.
And so that companion who's coming into somebody's life that has children are not going to be first right off.
That's. I mean.
Even though they may say, "Oh no, you come first." No, it's not going to happen right off. You just need to know that
No matter
because
how long y'all been
that's
in the
going to take some
relationship.
adjusting.
Because stuff heightens when you get married. All different factors and elements, they heighten. So it's gonna be a little off balance. It might be a little rocky at first. But that's why I said you got to show the united front, and you have to love through it all. You have to show deference, and you have to love through it all.
Yes.
And talk, have the share your feelings. Don't be afraid.
You gotta be honest.
Y'all in
Gotta be
this. You
honest.
got to be extremely vulnerable, and the other companion has to make it a safe space for that spouse or for that companion to be vulnerable and to be honest. Listen, I'm not taking no darts. I'm not throwing no darts at you. I'm not, this is not in a negative way. These are just my feelings. I want to share this with you.
Right.
Even if it's something that's negative about you. I'm not saying that this can't be handled, but this is how I feel.
Right. And then patience. All right. So let me see.
Let's go back and read some comments.
what Rakia said. Rakia says, he had 2 and I had 1. I had little humans walking around my house, not speaking to me, but opening my refrigerator and sucking up my utilities. I had to have the patience of Job not to lay hands. He's a keeper, I tell you.
And you pissing in the bed, you finna do what?
Jocelyn says, you ain't lying. My boys definitely got us plenty of times playing us, but we put a stop to that.
Yeah,
yes.
Cause it'll come every now and again. Even the older they get, it'll come out every now and again, and you have to reel each other back in and say, hey, how do we operate? What do we allow? What don't we allow? Because this is how we need to continue to go forward.
And you have to, because I don't care, and you have to understand whether you're the person with the children, a child, whatever, or whatever, or they are. You have to understand that you will always have a soft spot for your children.
Yep.
To a point that sometimes you don't hear what your companion is sharing with you about them, or what your companion is sharing with you about you when it comes to those children, because you will always have a soft spot for yours.
And your
first.
guard is up, and your protective
And
mode
blinders
is
on, yes. And blinders, like Rakia
Yep.
says. So here's a question. Hey, Shayla, cousin Shayla.
Hi, Miss Arlene. World War III, you know it.
The question is, I guess, does this apply to adults? That was one of the things that started off at the very beginning about one of the biggest obstacles can be adult children.
Yeah. Because though they're adults, they're still your children. Adult children still do not have the, they don't have the right to come in and try to tell what you got going on.
The adult children are probably worse.
Yeah,
because
they feel like I'm grown.
Yeah, and they feel like you just getting here. Like,
right. This been my mama's 25 years.
Yeah, and the adult children can often get more upset with the parent over the companion of the parent,
because they feel like
the parent is betraying them.
Correct. You're
like,
betraying me. This is how it goes. This is how it's been going. And now since you're connected with somebody else, now stuff is starting to change. Hold up, Mom. That's not how we get down. Well, it's not just Mom no more. Or it's not just Dad anymore.
Right.
This is how we get down.
Right. And like Terry says, especially the boys. Yeah, because they have been your pseudo companion.
Correct.
All this time. And so they have assumed the position of man in your life. And because they have assumed the position of man in your life, that's how they act. They act like territorial alpha men, and don't want anything. And it's out of love, and sometimes it's out of sheer babyish.
And I was gonna say fear. I'm gonna lose my space in my heart.
Right.
I mean, of course, no alpha male is gonna be that vulnerable to say that to another male. as far as I'm losing my space in my mama heart, but that's just what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Because he doesn't want you to give that what you give to him to any other guy.
Right. And then a lot of them they will stay away. They won't come around as much because I'm not going to compete.
Yeah, exactly.
With no other man.
The boys are protective of mom. Absolutely. All right. Hold on. I saw something else. Hold it.
Hold the line.
Here, Marquita says, I can speak for me as a mother. It seemed like my husband felt the need to be strict initially, as if because I was a woman raising a son, I wasn't being hard enough, so let me come in and rough you up a bit. Now,
like, hold it.
Yeah, but that may have been your protective...
her perception of
your protective perception of your husband.
Or he could have told her that.
Huh?
Or he could have said that to her, and that's.
But I'm saying the fact that you felt, okay, yeah, you can't, whatever. Let me come in. Maybe he could have told her that. But I think it still was coming at it from a defensive standpoint.
Probably so. I mean, yeah, probably so.
Okay, all right. Joe says the outside spouse has to be protected by the birth parent. The outside spouse has to be protected by the birth parent. Yeah.
You better delete that about that.
This?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. What else? Shayla says, so this is what I have to look forward to because men in my age range most likely already have children. It's different when it comes to men.
What do you mean?
So, like, if a person's is of age, 40 and above, and they got grown kids, when daddy get a spouse, it's a little different.
It is a lot of times. Most when they're adults and they come into daddy like that, a lot of them trying to hit daddy pockets a lot. Just, I need some money. I need this, or I need that, and the friction will come into play when daddies have to say, no, I can't do that right now because I got a wife now and I got to take care of other bills or whatever. So you can't just dig in the piggy bank because you want something or you need something. Now it's time it should have been a long time ago for you to cut that cord so you could fly on your own and get it how you live. But that's where a lot of friction come in.
Yeah.
With adults.
It does. When it comes to a woman dating a man of age that has children. However, and this may be, boundaries are important. This may be my prejudice, but I think from my experience that men have a easier battle with cutting that than women do. And a man can, unless it's well, here's some things you have to contend with. If you date a man of age and he's got children or whatever, usually he can kind of separate that, and that is not a huge problem. Now, if he has a daughter that's a daddy's girl, then you have to contend with that, right?
And some be like that for their boys, especially if that's their only boy. 'Cause I know, like my dad was like that with my brother. My brother still to this day can't do no wrong. Yeah,
that's one thing. But your brother doesn't come before your dad's wife.
True.
That's what I'm saying. It's different. He may still love his son, all that, but when it comes to this companion coming into his life, most men know how to put that boundary there.
It's with another boy, but it'd be difficult sometimes for their daughter. Because that's their baby girl. They don't want to hurt their baby girl feelings. They don't want to hurt their baby girl. Like what Miss Terrence said. She's saying like her companion's daughter didn't like the fact that he was dating someone else. And she didn't care for her. So I'm sure that was a tough place for Terry to be in because I'm trying to be respectful. I'm not trying to take your place because you are his child, but I am his woman. And we have a certain dynamic. Y'all have y'all dynamic. That's fine.
Let me tell you what happens with that. When it comes
It's
to
a power struggle still.
yeah, when it comes to women, that's a cat fight.
It is.
And you have that more you have that more with women. I'm just saying.
That's true.
You have that more with women than you do again. Yeah, you have it more with women. The daughter or the mama that your companion of age takes care of. You have that power struggle more with women. Women are always trying to find that space. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got look at Baby Boy, the movie.
I don't know nothing about Baby Boy.
This is my woman. Understand?
Yeah, I don't
So
know
he
what
had to
you're
let
talking
her know that baby boys that when they want their mom, it's the same thing.
about. Okay.
You may think it happens more with women having to contend with daughters of their companion. It may. I think it's a balance.
All right, so Kevin says, well, our boys look at me like they look at their mother. And they also know I don't play, and they will get the love from me like they get the love from their mother. All right?
That's right, Rakia.
Rakia says, ain't about cat fight with your child. You, huh?
She said, I ain't about a cat fight with your child.
You can get that together or not. You gonna figure it out sooner or later. What? What do you say? All that you just talking trash.
That's slang.
All that
I'm
Tennessee.
not for the cat
Hey,
fight.
hey, man, look, all that Tennessee trash you talking.
Leave that girl. She not for the cat fight with his dog, with your child. I'm not gonna do that. Now you handle that, or they just gonna have to figure it out sooner or later.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's just slang.
But what I'm saying though is that's gonna take time. It's gonna take patience.
It is.
If you decide to get into a relationship with the guy of age and got older children, especially a daughter, I'm talking about a woman, that ain't gonna just happen overnight.
We all know that.
And even setting the boundaries are not gonna happen overnight. Let me tell you why it's not gonna happen overnight.
He has to set that boundary.
But setting those boundaries is not gonna happen overnight because he knows and trusts his daughter. He's trying to know and trust you. Mm-hmm. So he's not going to set these boundaries hard and strong up front. He's not gonna do that because he knows and trusts his daughter.
And also
he's trying to hope to know and trust you. So those boundaries aren't gonna be set so hard and stern up front.
It will help. Conversation will help. Not ultimatums and not demands. It's not going. And if y'all, like you said, if y'all married, that should have been in the works a long time ago. The whole setting the boundaries.
Now let me tell you. So let me help you. He is going to be more willing to set the boundaries when it feels like a love situation. Mm-hmm. If it feels like a power struggle, then he's going to have a problem with setting those boundaries. Mm-hmm. I say love situation where his spouse, is helping him love his children. And it's all love and whatever. But when it feels like I'm first and you got blocked and I don't care and when it feels like that power struggle, then he's gonna have an issue with that. Now he may be a soft speaking guy wherein he's not aggressive,
right?
But he would be passive aggressive, which means he may not say nothing about it at all, and he may be saying, okay, yeah, I'm talking, and won't do it, and just won't do it, because he doesn't.
He avoiding that drama.
He's not just avoiding the drama. He's avoiding the drama, but what he's not feeling a cohesiveness.
Which is why I said not a conversation, but many conversation needs to be had. With no demands and no ultimatums, and then you have to,
right,
like
exactly.
you said, they got to feel the love.
Right.
He has to feel, I want this relationship to work, at least coming from your part as his woman.
Right, exactly.
He has to feel that. Even if he can get his child together.
Right, because what you don't want to do is to create division on the basis of this is my position. Right. Because if you create division, and that's what it'd be do. He'll be all you when he's with you, and then he will be all them when he's with them, and he'll make sure to keep it separate. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he will be distant with you when he's with his daughter, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't help make it a cohesive situation, all right. All right, look at what Joe says. Joe says the birth parent has to be a gentle giant, strong but loving, but being very direct. The birth parent also has to be the one who takes a stand. Mm-hmm. That's what he said?
Yeah. And be a mediator.
And be a mediator, right? Takes a stand for the spouse and be a mediator. Yes.
If it gets to that point where mediation needs to be had, because there are going to be some times where I guess because the person feels like they're an adult and they can say this and they can do that, then mediation is going to have to take place. And yes, that's when he needs to step in and be the gentle giant and the mediator. But I think also, like you said, in their private times,
right, it
needs to be direct conversation. This is especially with the child. Listen, this person is a part of our lives now, or going to be a part of our lives. But this is what I need from you.
But let me tell you this.
And if you don't want to do that, then you're going to have to fall back a little bit. I love you, but I'm trying to make something work, which is going to better not just my life, but your life as well.
That companion, your companion, will let you know before marriage in their actions whether they're going to be able to do that or not. So now you may go in saying, okay, well, now we married, this got to change. If it didn't happen and there was no indication that it would happen,
not just talk,
prior to marriage, it ain't going to happen because of marriage. So you need to not fool yourself, especially if you're not married yet and you're looking to get into that. Don't fool yourself, because if they won't make you a priority before marriage, they are not going to make you a priority during marriage. It's just going to be a whole fight and whole struggle, and you're going to be disappointed.
Why would they?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? I got you now, and you allowed for this to go on, and you still married me. So why would I change anything now?
Lots of pillow talk. Yes, that's what Marquita said. Thank you for
and dinner
counseling,
table
Pastor
talk.
J and Lady M. Yeah, absolutely. So blended families are not easy. Blended families are not easy. It's a whole spiritual thing, thing behind that.
Yes.
You know, y'all know the stuff that God tells us not to do, like don't fornicate and blah 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 blah. It ain't just because He wants to have fun. It's because He was like, look, I already know what's up the road. When you got baby over here, you got baby over there. Because you fornicate, I know it's going to be some stuff.
Right.
Like it's about to be some stuff, and that's why He says don't do that, because you're creating a whole issue, down the line. It ain't just because He didn't want you to have fun and go do whatever.
Right.
It's because it's God is saying, look, you don't know what's about to happen. Like you're not ready for this. All right.
It's so true, and it's like you say, it's not like He just don't want you to live your life and make have fun. You have free will choices, yeah. But I'm telling you now, just like your parents said, don't touch the stove. It's not like I don't want you to have a stove, but just don't touch it when it's on, because it's gonna be hot.
Yeah. So this has been good. It is after 9:30.
Is it? Okay. Oh.
Yeah, this has been good. Yeah, blended families is something else. We might have to do a whole part 2 on it. There you go.
I got class in the morning, man. I'm tired. I still got to study.
All right, so this has been good. So any any last takeaways or last questions y'all want to ask? I mean, y'all throw it out there. Y'all know we're here to help relationships, help couples, whatever. Yes, it has. I love it. Part 2. Yeah. Man, I do part 2, because blended families are something.
Yeah.
Are something else. Blended families or something. And let me tell y'all something. As you are raising these children, I don't care how great you are. Every child will grow up and is going to need therapy because of their childhood. Just like you do. Now, I look at my oldest daughter, and I know little mama gonna need some therapy. Because I was young and her mama was young, and we were dumb. And we took her through some stuff. But I also know every child's gonna grow up and need some therapy. I don't know what my younger two gonna need therapy about. I don't know. I really don't. But I know they are going to need therapy. So that's why you really have to be cognizant. You have to be mature. You have to be aware. You have to be patient, because you have lives in your hand. With your selfish self, you got lives,
and it's not gonna be perfect. I'm sorry. Before you get married or whatever you want to do, you're not gonna be perfect, but you need to be on the road going towards that way, doing some work before you. That's just true. Because if not, it's just gonna be harder and harder and harder because of the choices that you make. Everything is a choice. Be wise.
Now, I like to hear what Rakia just wrote. Ms. Shirley says, very good teaching and conversation. Thank you, Ms. Shirley. Rakia says, it's definitely worth it. 16 years later, we are a family.
Amen. I love it.
Now, that's something to be commended on. 16 years later, we are a family. And let me tell you, it didn't happen in 6 months. I can promise you that.
Okay.
I can promise you. It didn't happen in 6 months. And we are family now. And we're 16 years in too as well, right? Ours happened totally different. We won't share that. A whole circumstance had to happen.
I'm still not past it.
Oh well, you need to.
Let's not share it.
You need to go to Jesus. You're not past what?
I don't want to talk about it.
You need to go to Jesus. Why?
More, yes.
You need to go to Jesus. All right, Joe say 15 over here, and it's all love.
I know that's right.
It's all love. That's what's up. Hey, y'all share this. Y'all share this. Share this. If y'all think anybody needs to be helped by this, share this. Make sure you guys are subscribed to us on YouTube and share this, and we will peace out. Listen, wait. If
y'all sending us some really good. I'm just interrupting you.
You do it all the time. Go ahead.
Y'all have been sending us. I am.
You're not sorry.
Some good.
You do it all the time.
Good topics.
And then when I do it, now it's a problem. So now I'm starting interrupting you,
DM
just like you interrupt me.
And send us some topics.
So you can feel what it feels like.
These are some good topics.
You're going to act like it's not bothering you, huh?
Let's keep moving on.
Don't lean on me. Get off me.
Boy.
All right, so say what you're about to say.
I'm for the end this because
say what you said so they can they hear what you said because I was talking. Because usually when you talk over somebody, when you're trying to talk, nobody else can hear you. So you got to stop.
Send us some topics. They heard it. Boy, you are my husband, boy.
Open your eyes, girl. So whatever it is y'all want to talk about, send us some topics. Y'all send us some real good topics. So inbox us, whatever y'all want to talk about, and we'll talk about them.
Yep, what he said. I just said the same.
Did you say it?
Because
you know when you interrupt a person, you don't actually hear. You don't actually hear what they say.
Good night. It's my turn to end it. Ah,
what is this?
Not in the bathroom.
Good night.